Welcome. We're going to start today's first class with the very first Yoga Sutra. There's 195 of them. This is number 1, intro. It says in Sanskrit, Atha Yoga Nushasanam. In chanting, it's Atha Yoga Nushasanam. And what that translates to is now. This auspicious moment that all our other moments have led us to is our opportunity to check in with ourselves, to be completely 100% in our capital T truth. It's an opportunity to honor yourself with each and every breath, with each and every movement. It's your chance to realize and resolve conflict on your mat, in your body, in your life. It all comes up. It's your opportunity to notice your level of connection everywhere in your life and to deepen that connection. And it's your chance to develop an awareness of any imbalances and cultivate steadiness. If you change the word yoga to Jedi training, which is what I did for the first 5 years that I practiced this, it's really powerful because you're connecting with your force. And you can be in this practice and see the dark side arising, and you get to use these tools to discern about staying true to your authentic self, honor yourself, quit all the negative judgments, self-limiting, blah, blah, baloney, and just be. Harder than it looks, but it takes practice. Here we go. Today's class is the basics. Starting, like I said, at square one. Atha Yoga Nushasanam. The beginning of every class will start with breath. So you can sit up straight and tall, or you can lie down. Sometimes if you're brand new and you haven't been doing this yet, when you sit up and you try to get comfortable and your knees are all squished up here and your body's all like this, it's really hard to get the breath. It's really hard to get a full capacity in your whole self. So if you find yourself like this right now, don't worry, you won't be there forever. But you can start lying on the ground with the soles of your feet on the ground. Now your abdomen, your torso can get a full quality breath with every inhale and exhale. So the yogic breath, I'm going to sit to discuss this, but you can certainly stay lying down. The yogic breath always begins at the base of your pelvic floor. And you fill up slowly and intentionally your whole belly, your chest, moves through your throat and lifts all the way up through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, you descend it down the crown of your head, through your throat, collapse your chest, deflate your belly, and at the bottom you pull up on those muscles again. I will talk less while you practice. The breath is done through the nose. Your mouth can stay closed or slightly open, but you're not making the air come in and out of your of your mouth. Once you've established a long, deep, steady breath, bring your awareness to the tops of the inhales and the bottom of the exhales. And just notice that space in between your exhale breath and the next inhale that you take, and in between that top inhale before you begin to exhale. Without judging it, just notice, is it glitchy? Is it sticky? Is it smooth? Is it fluid? And after a couple of breaths of just becoming aware of it, see what you can do about smoothing it out any amount. Give your whole body a scan from the bottom to the top, from the top to the bottom. And notice what's going on for you today. Again, without judgment, without, oh, my body feels this, or I have pain here and I shouldn't have. Doesn't matter. You're here right now. Just notice. Notice where your tension seems to reside today. Notice if there's an area where you can definitely let go. And maybe you're not feeling that, and that's okay too. You just bring your awareness inside. Hatha Yoga Nushasanam. This is about you connecting to you, getting to know yourself better than you ever have, and in the meantime, becoming a Jedi. If your eyes are closed, on your next inhale, just gently flicker them open. Find a soft gaze. And then come forward. If you're on your back, sit up. If you're sitting up, come forward. We're all going to meet in all fours. So always, particularly in these first several classes, paying attention to your alignment matters. So your wrist creases stack right underneath your shoulders. Your fingers are spread wide, and as if they'd shoot off the front of the mat if they kept extending. And then look back to see that your knees are right underneath your hips. And then bring your gaze just off the front of your mat a little bit so your head stays in line with your spine. And then we're just gonna warm up. On the inhales, you lift your pelvis first. Your belly drops, your chest lifts, your head lifts. Exhales round through your pelvis. Let all of your vertebrae get space, and then let your head be heavy. Continue. Inhales, lift and lengthen. Exhales round and soften. 3 more of those on your own breath, just noticing. There's nowhere you're trying to get. There's nothing you're trying to be. You're just experiencing your body and your breath at this moment. After your next one, return to a flat back. Same thing, your gaze is just a couple of inches off the front of the mat. Bring your left hand a couple of inches in front of your right, and then your right on an inhale, opens all the way up. Exhale, thread it through, come down onto your shoulder and onto the side of your head. Once you do that, if you're feeling your hips are all wonky, you gotta square them up best you can. Your left hand can extend fully if you want, or just leave it where it is. Same smooth, fluid breath. On an inhale, you're going to use that left hand to press yourself up. Exhale, unwinds, and you switch sides. Right hand comes out. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, thread through. Same thing, if you want to extend your right hand, you can. Inhale to press into your right hand to lift up. Exhale, unwind. You can keep both of your hands out in front of your shoulders. And the inhales, the first couple, you're just going to bring yourself forward so your shoulders stack over those wrist creases. Exhale, bring your hips back, all the way back over your heels. Inhale, come forward, shoulders just over wrists. Exhales back, hips as close to your heels as you can get them. This time when you come forward on the inhale, allow your shoulders to come further than your wrist creases and your head looks up. Exhale, shift back, and let your chin come to your chest as your heels are over your hips over your heels. Inhale, come forward, lift and lengthen. Exhale, shift back. Soften and round. 2 more. Inhale forward. Exhales back. Inhale forward. This one we're going to stay. So you're really pressing into your hands, the thumb and the index finger. You can stay on your knees or you can come to the tops of your feet and allow your hips to descend. On an exhale, shift your hips back and stay, chin to chest. Inhale brings you back up to center. Curl your toes under and then lift your knees and your hips for a plank. Really pressing into the mound of the index finger and the thumb, letting your gaze right off the front of your mat so you're in line. And then on your next exhale, shift your hips up, press through your hands, make your arms as straight as they've ever been. You can walk your feet in if you must. And keep pressing your hands straight. And keep allowing your heels to descend. They might not, it's okay. And then inhale to look up between your hands. Exhale as you walk your feet up to the front of the mat. Your hands come to your shins. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, fold completely. And then inhale, come all the way up. Reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, release your arms down by your side and bring them forward to your heart center. Oh, Nelly. First things first, we find Tadasana, the basic of all standing poses. So I wiggle around. Get yourself connected with the mat. Let your feet feel the mat. And you can be about shoulder width apart with your feet. Lift all 10 toes and really press the mounds of the big toe down. And then spread across the front of your foot and reach the pinky side mound down too. Bend your left knee and then stamp that left heel back down. Same thing with the right, and then stamp that back down. Now with your toes, spread them as wide as you can get them. And as you exhale, release them down to the ground, but let them grip like little geckos. There's a little bend in your knees. If you're a hypermobile person, and it turns out it is a common trait in ADHD is hypermobility. So if you lock your knee out and it goes way back like that, you gotta, see the difference? Hyper, healthy, hyper, healthy. So you gotta find the alignment and get strong there. And then you bring your awareness to your thighs. And you're gonna externally rotate. So if I'm like this and I internally rotate, my knees kind of block together. If I externally rotate, my knees are now lined up with my feet. So I do that, and it's broad across the hips. Now the next inhale is going to grow you again from the pelvic floor all the way through the crown of your head. Even reach your arms up, look up. Exhale, bring your gaze to neutral. Energize these arms so much. There's so much activity in your fingertips. And allow them to come down by your side. Pressing all the way down, broad across the collarbone. Every inhale, you gain strength. Keep that at the top of your inhale, but then exhale and soften. Again, grow tall and grow strong on your inhale. Keep the integrity of that, but exhale, release it, soften it. Don't work so hard. One more time, get all the strength in the world. Exhale, release, soften, surrender. Next, inhale, sweep your arms up, look up. Exhale, bend at the waist, over we go. Completely. If you haven't been practicing for a while and it's real hard to get down there, that's okay. Put a little bend in your knees, no sweat. And if you find yourself all crunched up, curling like that, that's okay too. That's why we use blocks. Because if you have the blocks, if I can bring my hands to the blocks and then from my sacrum through the crown of my head grow and lengthen even more, now I can lead with my chest. You want to keep the length in your torso, keep the openness in the collarbone and chest, and then when you can't go any further, then drop your head. Let it be heavy. And then bend both knees quite significantly. And inhale to rise yourself all the way up. Shrug your shoulders back 3 times. We're going to practice the sun salutation, which is like the basic building block of almost any yoga class you'll go to worldwide. But not particularly in my classes because we don't do them as much. But it's important to know, and we do sometimes. So, the basics. You find Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, sweep your arms up, look up. Exhale, sweep them down, look down, dive over we go. The inhale, your hands come to your shins and lengthen your spine, look across the room. And then as you exhale, plant your hands on either side of your feet and step back to the plank. Your next exhale, you're going to lower all the way down to the ground. And if that's difficult, if it's hard to lower all the way down from there, then come on back up to that plank. Bring your knees to the ground first, and then keeping your hips in line with your knees and your shoulders. Then lower that all the way down. You can come to the tops of your feet. The inhale, your shoulders lift up, chest is broad. You can be light in your hands if you want. And then on an exhale, curl your toes under again. Shift your hips back over your heels. And then inhale to rise up to downward facing dog. And you stay here for 5 breaths. Really pressing that thumb and the index finger, making your arms strong. Remember that hypermobility. So if your knees are locked out, give them a little bend. If your elbows bend together, that kind of hypermobility, you got to check in and make sure they're straight. And then inhale, you look up between your hands. Exhale, a big step forward with your right and then your left. Hands come to shins. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, this time with a straight back. Come all the way up, look up. Exhale, back to where we started from. Now we'll do that again. Inhale, up, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. Next exhale lowers you down. Inhale. You can either come here to upward facing dog, or the first one, we did little cobra. Exhale, roll over your feet, back to downward facing dog, 5 breaths. On your next inhale, look up between your hands. Take the opposite foot forward, and then the right. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up, look up. Exhale, Samastitihi. That's the basic sun salutation. We're going to go into a couple of standing poses, basics. So oftentimes these happen through the sun salutation. You'll come forward and just transition into this. Today we're just going to take it from the top. So Hatha Yoga Nushasanam. Notice your level of stability and create steadiness. So let's start with that. Step really firmly into the left foot. Inhale brings your right knee up. Exhale, gently step it far back. This knee is going to stay bent, eventually into the square, but you start somewhere. This back leg, you really reach for the outside edge of the back foot. Let me show you the difference if you don't. So, warrior legs, right? If I don't reach the outside edge of my back foot, and I think you can't see it here, this is what my knee looks like. But once I reach, then my leg becomes in line. My ankle, knee, and hip are all lined up. So that's what you're going for. We do again. From here, warrior one, everything squares towards the front of the mat. Doesn't square exactly, because we ain't square. 3 breaths here. Exhale, release your hands, and step that foot back together. We'll do the other side. Maybe I'll take you on this version. So ground down real firmly in the right. Inhale, let the left float up. Exhale to send it all the way back. If you were to measure, this front heel would bisect that back arch. If you don't feel stable, then separate them, no problemo. This knee bends into the square of the front. Externally rotate that back leg to reach for the outside edge. Inhale, sweep forward. Warrior one. Virabhadrasana one. Exhale, release your hands. And then as gently as you can, step forward to Tadasana. We're now going to do warrior two. So maybe I'll start on this side. Same thing. Knee floats up. Exhale, step it all the way back. And instead of sweeping forward, now turn your torso, your shoulders, everything to the long edge of the mat. And your arms come out to either side. Gaze over your front fingers. Exhale to release your hands. Turn your body towards the front and a big step forward. We do the other side. Inhale, lift the left up. Exhale, send it all the way back. Arms to either side, shoulders and torso. Everything faces the long edge. And just your gaze comes over. Exhale to release that hand. Inhale, big step forward. Now we're going to do those again. This time I'm not going to talk. Well, I might talk a little. Warrior one first. Inhale, sweep your leg up. Exhale to send it all the way back. Bend the knee, outside edge, sweep arms forward. And notice. Without judgment, just notice, maybe that's a little bit more difficult than I gave it credit for. This comes with ease. Exhale, release your hands. Step back to the front. Other side. Inhale, lifts. Exhale, send it back. Inhale, sweep forward. Relax the muscles of your jaw, your face. Exhale to release your hands. Inhale, steps it all the way forward. Warrior two again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, step. Everything turns. Arms to either side. Gaze over the front fingers. Slow, smooth breath. Exhale to release. And step her together. Other side. Inhale up. Exhale back. Everything squares long. Arms up. Gaze forward. Exhale, releases your hands. Turn towards the front and step her together. Awesome sauce. Next inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers and press them out. And then exhale your gaze forward. Keeping the weight distributed equally in each foot. Bend over to the side. Inhale brings you back to center. Exhale, other side. Inhale brings you back to center. This time, exhale over to the right and allow your head to look up at your left elbow. Inhale to neutral. Exhale the other way. Inhale back to neutral. Exhale, release your arms by either side and allow your fists to touch in the back. And then exhale your chin down to your chest. Inhale, center. Exhale, back. Inhale, center. Exhale, look right. Inhale, center. Exhale, look left. Inhale, center. Exhale, release, and shake that out. Come on down to your mat, all the way. I'm going to do one twist before we come all the way down. So bring the left sole of your foot to the midline. Your right leg can stay out. Inhale, get all the length here. Exhale, hug this knee. Your other hand can come back behind you and your gaze over your back shoulder. Keep the twist, but on an exhale, bring your gaze over your inside shoulder. Exhale, release that side and switch. Inhale, grows you tall. Exhale, hug that knee, look back behind you. Exhale, your gaze over the front. Exhale to completely undo. And then come on down to your back. You can start with both soles of your feet on the ground. Your arms make little saguaro cactuses. And exhale to drop your knees over to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale the other way. Inhale to center. And then bring your knees up. Hands onto your knees. And give it a little pedal out. And then your knees come together. And you rotate them a couple of rolls one way. And then a couple the other way. And then on an inhale, squeeze yourself together like a tight little ball. And exhale, completely extend. Your feet flop open. Your arms can come by your side. And let everything be heavy. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Give your jaw a wiggle. Lick your lips. And allow them to come back together, kind of a space of touching, not touching, right on the cusp. Let go of the breath that you've been controlling and manipulating. Let go of all of your muscle activity. Atha Yoga Nushasanam, or Atha Jedi Training Nushasanam. Now, this auspicious moment that all the other moments have led us to was our chance to check in, to be absolutely in our truth, to acknowledge this moment, each inhale, each exhale, to notice our level of connection and to deepen it, to be awareness of instability and cultivate steadiness. Atha Yoga Nushasanam, our chance to connect with our force. And once the sound of the chimes vibrate and resonate through your body, through your nervous system, and settle, gently reawaken by wiggling your fingers and your toes, circling your wrists and then your ankles, maybe a bend in your elbows and your knees, perhaps a reach overhead for a stretch and a yawn. Ultimately, from your back, you bring your knees into your chest and roll off to the side in the fetal position. Use your arm as a pillow and stay there for a moment as you check back in. Notice the quality of your energy, the sensation in your muscular system. And when you're ready, turn your chest towards the mat to press yourself up and come to a comfortable seat. And even though I'm not there with you, I'd like to finish the class together with you. So exhale everything you got. Inhale, fill yourself up. Exhale, a big shoulder dropping sigh. Next, inhale, fill up. And blow out your mouth like you're blowing through a straw. And then on the third fill up, bring your hands to your heart center. On your exhale, exhale through your nose on your own as you bow your head to your heart. And thank yourself for taking a couple of minutes of Jedi training in the middle or the beginning or the end of your day. And know that the force in me, the little light of divinity that shines in the cave of my heart, honors and values the same light in each of you.